Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Egyptian shimmy. I'm sure you've seen this movement being done a lot by belly dancers, is where you alternate your knees front and back to get a big hip reaction. So this movement is always confused with the tension shimmy, where you just tense your thigh muscles to get a vibration-like movement, and this is not what we want to talk about today. Or the hip shimmy, where you have an up and down movement of the hip, and this one is going to be for next class. But for today, we're going to be doing the Egyptian shimmy, where it's all in the knees. Let's start with the posture of this movement. For the posture, make sure your weight is a little bit to the ball of the foot. So this is your option number one. It's not a rule. You can explore and see where you like it best. So if you move your weight like 1 unit, I'm not just leaning with my back like this, all my body is leaning a little bit forward, just slightly, to feel that my heel is a little bit more free. So that doesn't mean my heel is lifting off the floor. That just means that my ball of the foot is bearing a little bit more weight than my heel. So I feel more free in my heel when I move my knees like this and not so grounded. Option number two is to have your weight fully distributed on the foot. So all three parts of the foot are taking your weight equally. Or you can lean a little bit back so you can feel more grounded and your heel is bearing more weight for you. For this option, you will feel a lot more fixed. So make sure you know what you need before you choose your posture. If you need more freedom, lean a little bit forward. If you need more grounding, lean a little bit back to your heel. If you feel like you're pretty much comfortable with your weight fully distributed and equally distributed on the foot, you can stay in the normal posture with the foot fully taking you. So make sure you explore your options first. I'm going to choose the little bit forward leaning option because I always feel more free to move it with this way and more restricted when I lean towards my heel. All right, number two is to talk about your knees. Your knees are going to be straight. So I'm not going to be locking them like this, not ever overly straighten my knees. I'm going to be in a comfortable position where my knees are straight and not bent like the basic belly dance posture. In this movement, we're gonna have straight knees. For the pelvis, make sure you're not arching your lower back like this. It's very bad for your spine. And make sure you're not overly tucking like this where you'll need to bend your knees. We're going to be in a neutral posture where my lower back is straight and protected. My chest is going to be lifted and separated from my lower body just to lighten the weight on my lower body. If I relax into my hips, it's going to be very heavy for my hips to carry everything and move. So I'm going to lift my chest off to make sure that my lower body is carrying less weight. Shoulders down and arms to the side, just like the normal posture. Now that we've done the posture, let's talk about the technique of the movement. We're going to be moving our knees front and back in a big range of motion. Make sure you're not moving here, that is turning into a vibration. We want to move in a big range of motion. So for example, I can look down at my knees and make sure that they're crossing the same distance. So for example, they're going both to the toes, not one stuck here and the other in the back. I need to make sure they're crossing the same big range of motion. So this range of motion is achievable differently for every person because we have different anatomy. So make sure you work with your range of motion. You want to bend your knee to the point where your hip is still not reacting. When you start to see this dip like this, make sure that you stop and go back a little. So we want this range of motion where our height is not affected. I can still bend and straighten without doing this, right? So it's a small but yet big range of motion, right? So it needs to be relaxed as well. I need to make sure I'm not doing a choppy movement like this or overlocking my knee backwards. I need to be relaxed where it's just a small contraction that gives me this push and I'm not fully contracting my muscle all the way through it. So slight push, slight push, slight push, slight push. Now we're gonna work with the counting. For the counting, I need to make sure I follow the counting because our bodies most of the time want to do the vibration shimmy, which has no count. It's very quick, very tense. I'm just doing this. I cannot really count. Am I following the rhythm? Not really. It's just a tense, anxious shimmy. So I need to stop and follow the count, starting by the 4 counts with the slowest count, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, 4, right, left, right, left. This speed is perfect for you to explore how relaxed you are in this movement, to see where you feel tension, to check in with your posture, to check in with your hips. Are they reacting or are they rigid and just stiff and contracted? You need to make sure everything is working correctly in this speed before you move on to the next one. So make sure the hips are slightly reacting but not becoming like a hip lift like this. This means that you have bent your knees too much. So just a slight reaction in the hips. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to do my medium speed, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. In this speed, it's a good challenge to start to explore, can you actually speed up in this shimmy and follow the rhythm? Are you following the count or are your knees doing whatever they want? Make sure you are following 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And I'm not going fully back and locking my knees. Now that you have done the medium speed and you're comfortable with it, it might take a long time. Don't be fooled by the simplicity of the movement. It is very hard and most of the time conditioning movement. You're just trying to work with your muscles to listen to you. So let's try now to do the full speed, and only if you feel comfortable doing it. Let's try the 1 yana 2 yani 1 yana 2 yani 1 yana 2 yani 1 yana 2 yani. This speed is called the 16th note speed, which is a musical way of counting notes. Usually it's doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and but twice. So you multiply that speed by 2. But because it's really hard to count, they came up with 1 E and A, 2 E and A. So on every letter and on every count, we are doing a movement, but we're counting it quickly up to speed. 1 E and a 2 yani, 1 E and a 2 yani, 1 E and a 2 yani, 1 E and a 2 yani. I check with myself, is my upper body stable? Is it bouncing like this? I make sure that my upper body is not reacting that way. I make sure that my hips are reacting correctly and not becoming like a hip lift. I make sure that my knees are doing the big range of motion. My pelvis is tucked in and I'm breathing normally. So this is your full shimmy speed. Now let's try it with some music. All right, guys, slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, left, right, left. Now medium. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And 1 and a 2 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 and. And back to medium. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and slow. 2, 3, 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2. And medium and slow. Great job. All right, guys, this was the end of our video for today. Make sure you practice and don't forget Egyptian shimmy is really one of the most difficult movements for everyone. So take your time and be patient, and I'll see you in the next one.